about it? We made it to another Saturday night. We have a whole new reason to look forward to Saturday nights. It's the Delco Duo.
Hi, Monica.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we are the Delco Duo, Jenna Meisner, Monica Cryan, and we are here every Saturday night to solve your problems at home.
Yes, and we are getting some great responses. Before we get to all of them, we're going to go right to the debrief.
All right.
So this isn't actually one of my issues, even though it sounds like it could be. I went to the doctor's recently, and I got some allergy testing done.
Okay.
Because that's essential to understand why I sneeze so much.
Right. So if you are a morning news viewer, then
This is it.
this is the photo.
That's me. Everybody who's ever gotten allergy tested knows this photo.
Did you add the cat?
I did.
So that was your emoji adding to this photo.
That's my emoji. The cat's sad because I can never be near cats. I am severely allergic to cats. That's what we discovered.
So I've never gotten an allergy test before. Thankfully, I don't have any known allergies, knock on wood.
Yeah.
So if someone saw that photo and they're like, Monica, what was going on?
Yeah.
Just explain what they did to you. It sounds like torture.
Yeah, they poke you. They draw 12 lines on this side of your arm, 12 lines on this, and then they poke you on either side of that line. And so that's 48 pokes altogether. It was not fun. I didn't think it was going to be that miserable, but it was. And then what they start to look for is the ones that have the worst
Swelling,
reaction.
the itching. Well, I'm sure they all itch a bit.
They all do.
Because
It's
when you think you can't itch something, I feel like it itches more.
Yes.
When you're like, I can't touch it, it itches more.
It really
It's
did.
a mind game.
It really was a mind game, and I'm sitting there, but one just started to kind of like bubble up, and I've always known I'm allergic to cats, but I wanted to see if there were other reasons that my allergies are so bad, and nothing really came up other than the cats.
Yeah.
So they think it's related to my allergy to aspirin, which I've had for a few years
And that
now.
can explain some of the sneezing. That's actually a symptom if you do have this allergy to aspirin. Because if you're a morning news viewer, Monica is constantly sneezing, and people are always writing in like, "She's sick. Are you sick?"
Yes.
I'm not sick. It's cause the aspirin, people. Okay.
The allergy to aspirin. So. And then you had your little doctor's experience, which we don't have to get to.
No, it's fine. I went to a podiatrist for the first time in my life. I thought that I had some sort of infection, but it turned out not to be an infection. Everything is fine with my nail. It's due to nail polish. So ladies, if you get the pedicures, be careful where you're getting your toes done. But anywho, so we were kind of talking about specialized doctors.
Yes.
So I was doing a little bit of research, and I asked Monica the question, like, which specialized doctor do you think people visit the most and has the highest gross income? And Monica guessed it right on the spot, so tell them.
Yeah, I guessed it was plastic surgery. Because, I mean, a lot of these other doctors, plastic surgery, very essential in some cases. But I think a lot of people cosmetically are visiting because they want to be there. Whereas, like, some other surgeries, like brain surgeons or cardiac heart surgeons, it's not necessarily for fun.
It's for life or death.
Yes.
So that is an interesting fun fact. And specialized doctors are always just so interesting because then you get that bill later in the mail and you're like, it cost how much for them to look at something for 5 seconds?
I know. And then you get thinking about some of these specialized doctors and I'm like, allergy, asthma, I'm sure they've got it pretty nice. I loved my doctor. He was very, very nice. But when it comes to like the scale of doctor problems, like what doctors must see, allergy, asthma, not too bad, but like your GI doctor, they must see some, if you know what I mean.
All right, so tell us about the specialized doctors that you visited. We would love to know some of your experiences, but we got to get into our issues for this week. So up first, we have Barry from Boothwyn.
And he says, my friend's girlfriend keeps crashing guys' night out. Makes me feel like I'm the third wheel.
Barry.
Yeah. She doesn't even realize she's having a guy's night out. She thinks she's on a date with her boyfriend, and I'm the tag along. She gets very grumpy when she's not center of attention, and we don't do things the way she wants. What? Who is this girl? Come on.
You gotta have a little bit of self-awareness.
Self-awareness. She has none.
Because he has wrote that this is sort of something they've been doing, golfing, going to the casinos,
right?
Things that they would do as best friends for a while, and now you're entering this third party. But also, shame on Barry's friend. Why are you entering in the third party?
I mean, this sounds pretty consistent. You've done it, I've done it with Eugene's friends, and all of a sudden there I am. I want to have a good time. I want to hang out. And yes, I'm crashing guys' night. I don't do it consistently, but every so often I'll be like, hey, you guys look like you're having fun. I kind of want to come.
But do you get grumpy and irritated if you are not the center of the attention of the evening?
Right. That's where she's going wrong. You can be fun, go out for a guys' night every so often, not all the time, every so often, and have a lot of fun and be fun. The fact that she's being grumpy, this is unfortunate for Barry.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because this is something that he seems like he really enjoyed to do. Go out to these, fun things with his best friend, and now he feels out of place, like Three's Company almost. Yeah. And I think it's kind of on his friend to bring along the girlfriend sometimes, but you really need to make time for what you used to do.
I feel bad, Barry, and I would love to be like, oh, this might change. It won't.
Unless they break up.
Unless they break up, this is it. She's going to tag along from now until eternity.
But does Barry speak up?
I think he's out of luck now. I think he's out of luck now. Because if he speaks up, she's not going to like him, and then she's going to say, I don't want you hanging out with him anymore.
But then if they break up,
I know girls.
So if they break up, Barry could be like, I told you so?
Yes, Barry.
I was thinking it, but
dude, she always ruined our guys' night out. You're better off without her. But if they don't break up, this is just the path that they're going down.
And they get married one day. Can you imagine? Barry would probably not be friends with this man anymore and his wife. But that's thinking way long term.
Right. We don't know really how serious they are, but I've seen it time and again. You get into these relationships.
So how do we fix this? What's the short-term fix for this?
Oh, I'd find another guy to hang out with, Barry.
Okay. So you're saying just drop them all together.
Not drop your friend, because that's your friend. But when it comes to guys' night out,
keep it guys' night out.
Yeah. Tell him if he can't come unless he's ditching his girl for the night.
All right, Barry, you heard it here first. Find some new friends for guys' night or tell him he can't bring the girlfriend along. Coming up, we are going to be heading into Springfield. Now, Monica, we are going to meet a woman who can't stop thinking about a man that she's never met.
Sounds like a movie.
Think about that.
All right, and welcome back to the Delco Duo. Last week we had talked about the worst roads in Delco. Yeah. I said Eagle Road. You said 476, and I asked online, and a lot of people agreed with you. 476, Blue Route.
Well, I do the traffic in the morning, so I would hope that I would have a good grasp on what people in the Delaware County are
really
not
grinding their gears.
What's really grinding their gears. And the Blue Route for me, I mean, it is the Schuylkill Expressway of Delaware County, in my opinion. The 2 lanes, it's getting worse than ever out there for any traffic. And I think because we were all spoiled during COVID when nobody was driving.
Oh my gosh, it was smooth sailing.
And now everyone's back on the road. So
it would take me an hour 15 to get down to the shore. And now it's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, 476 is really tough. And then some other people, 130 in South Jersey. So it's not just Delco.
Yeah, we are open to all counties, states, if you're in the viewing area, Delaware, New Jersey. We love you all.
It's all bad. All right, our second topic comes from Sari from Springfield. And this is so interesting.
Okay.
She says, I can't stop thinking about someone I barely know.
Sorry. All right, so.
Sorry.
Sorry. If you're reading this, you're probably wondering, okay, I need more context because me and Monica felt the same way. Yeah. So Sari takes her daughter to jiu-jitsu. I can't say it.
Wow. Jiu-jitsu.
It's one of those things for me that, there's words that you have that you just can't say right. I have to really think about it, and that's one of them.
Okay.
You're making faces, but I think people would agree with me. So she takes her daughter to those classes for almost a year now, and there's a guy there that also teaches their class, and she sees him all the time. And she says, for some reason, the last 3 weeks, I can't stop thinking about him. So she sees him at her daughter's class.
Crushing hard. You can't stop thinking about him.
This to me is a little weird.
Really?
What, you think it's normal?
I think there's something to be said for like instant connection. I think she says, I would catch him glancing at me, but I'm starting to think I'm making him uncomfortable.
That's probably why. If Sorry is beaming into this man's soul, obviously he's going to look back at her and be like, what's this woman's deal?
Sorry, I don't think this is weird. I think there are people that you come across, it's not soulmate level, but it's instant connection.
I think she needs to talk to him. Sorry, you need to talk to this man to see if he's really what you're chalking him up to be in your mind. Because she probably is daydreaming and like having these thoughts about this man.
I don't know, it's kind of fun to daydream.
Maybe when she talks to him, it just crushes everything that she's been thinking.
And the only way that you hope to crush is like he's got a really irritating voice. Like if she's never talked to him and then all of a sudden she goes up to him and he's like, hey, sorry, it's really nice to finally meet you. That's what you got to hope for. Because then it's like, never mind.
Or like a really boring personality.
Yes.
That's equally as bad as an irritable voice.
Yes.
So I do think you need to talk to him.
I think you definitely need to introduce yourself. Especially, it's odd, even if you don't feel like there's an instant connection, if you have been bumping into someone for over a year now, you should be talking to them just because you're a nice person. You can't go about a whole year of your life without talking to someone that you bump into occasionally.
Or
I talk to the Starbucks person who I see like once every other month.
But that's because, you're more outgoing, more of an extrovert. Maybe Sorry's an introvert. Yeah. So another way to get around this is to find out who his kid is in the class and have your daughter befriend this child. And then once they're close, you'd be like, oh, our kids are really good friends.
Is Sorry married?
Well, I think Sorry's married. I think Sorry's married.
If Sorry is married, then yes,
midlife crisis.
Go and talk to him so that you guys, you kind of get it out of your system. But don't, if the two kids become friends and you're setting up play dates, oh no, it can get really, really messy.
I do think Sorry's married. And I think this is her like, you're married for however many years. It's not as exciting as it once was. So she's having her own little fantasy about this man from the class.
Keep it a fantasy, Sorry. Don't explore it.
Just talk to him. That's all you got to do.
And just hope he's got a weird voice.
And then if you fall even more, then you're in trouble.
I think you got to take your kid out of jujitsu. Put him in karate. There's many other types of martial arts.
I feel like we see this like time and time again too. Like I've heard of, not saying Sorry's starting an affair. I'm sure Sorry's watching like, hey, what? Sorry, she's not going to start, an affair, but parent teachers, you drop your kid off to school or the school mom, the school dad who are always in the car line together. You hear things like that.
Have you ever had like an instant connection with someone?
Just by staring at them?
Like
a pool to somebody?
Yeah, like you just all of a sudden you just really hit it off.
And you just think about the person?
Yeah, not that I thought about this person, but one time I was on an airplane and me and this person.
Airports are where this happens. You see
all the time.
You see somebody and you build a life that you think they might have. That they might have. You're like, oh, this guy's going here because of that. It's all in your head.
It is all in your head. It really isn't as good as you think and make it out to be.
The grass is not always greener, Sorry.
Yes.
If you are married, stay away from it. If you're not married,
talk to him
and feel it out.
Yeah. My guess is it's not going to be as much fun as your fantasy.
Okay.
All right, coming up, it's one of our own issues that we are bringing to the table. Make sure you stick around for that.
And welcome back to the Delco Duo. Thanks so much for spending a little bit of your Saturday night with us and for all of the issues from this week.
Yep.
We so appreciate the submissions, but now it is time to discuss one of our own problems.
Okay, let's see whose turn it is.
What's Monica crying about? Oh, you big baby.
I know. I had a few issues I could bring to the table. And if
I think a few is...
That's so sad. If we get through the first one, we can talk about my other issues. But one of my problems is I was talking with my mom about some future dates of babysitting.
Okay.
I've got if you're not familiar, but I've got 2 kids, pretty young. And so I always like to put on her radar some of the dates coming up for babysitting, because my parents will watch the kids, or Eugene's parents will watch the kids. So we have a wedding in September, or 2 weddings back to back, so a Friday night and a Saturday night.
It's about to be wedding season.
Wow.
The fall is always crazy.
But still, it's really, I can understand, back to back weekends. We have back to back nights, like Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
One of them in Philly, one of them in the Catskills.
So
I'm talking upstate New York.
not close.
I mean, come on. I never leave Delco. Why am I leaving? I got to go to New York. So, talking to my mom about it, and all of a sudden she goes, "Well, I'm away that weekend. I can't watch your kids." Like, I'm like, "What? Why do you have a life outside of children?"
Me and my children.
So I had already sent in the RSVP that we were going to be there, because I had just kind of assumed my mom was going to be around. So now I got to take back the RSVP. What is the proper etiquette? Timing wise, I think we're about a month out from the wedding.
When did you send the RSVP?
So sent the RSVP months ago. Now, the only thing I can say is it's that new cool online RSVP. So I can easily go online and now just say, no, I can't make it. And we're a month out. So I feel like no harm, no foul, right?
Well, you got to do it like right now. Like
right.
Go on your cell phone right now as the show is happening.
Should I also?
As a former bride not too long ago, the last minute changes to RSVPs
really mess things up.
Really grinded my gears. Not to go back to grinding the gears as we were talking about earlier. That I think a month is fine. But like today.
Yes. So I'm going to go in RSVP, because this is really all of a sudden just we're realizing. At first we thought we were going to get.
So is Eugene not going either?
No, Eugene's still going to go up to New York. It's his fraternity friend. And I love him because I went to college with them too. But he can go. We'll go to the Friday night wedding in Philly together and get a babysitter for that. But then I think it's too much to ask another babysitter to come for Saturday. And or even family. I just feel bad about.
Well, has your siblings watched the kids before?
They have watched them for.
Do you ask them often?
Night out. Yeah, my siblings are really nice, but I've never asked them to do an overnight.
Okay.
Where they go to sleep and wake up.
Yeah. Do you trust them for that? Doesn't sound like you trust them very much.
It's not that I don't trust my siblings. I don't want that for my siblings. Like I love them. There's no need for them to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's too much to ask, I think, of my siblings.
I would agree, but I would also say, that you don't get a lot of time to go out with your friends when you do have 2 small children.
Right.
So I would say try to get that babysitter for Saturday night. And if you're not going to do it, I don't think you can just un-RSVP. What is the un-RSVP? But you have to, send a message and say,
sure,
Eugene's still going to go, but
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they can't just look at the list and it just says Monica's not coming anymore.
Right.
That is not proper etiquette.
And then they probably start thinking things are bad with Eugene and I.
Yeah, you're getting divorced. That's what they probably
think. Monica just RSVP'd no to this wedding. So that was my issue, but I can't believe, my mom has a life outside of me.
How dare you, Gigi,
How?
Have anything else going on aside from your grandchildren? I know. No, I don't have children, but I know from my sisters having kids, like, so it's bad, but sometimes you just kind of assume, like, my parents can watch the kids. It's just an assumption, and you can't be that way.
I had put it on her radar, but then all of a sudden we realized that we were talking about the same weekends. The same weekend she's going away, the same weekend that I'm hoping. But
so I would say try to get a babysitter. If you can't get the babysitter, then obviously you can't go. So you got to un-RSVP. Tell them why, but this needs to be figured out ASAP, because that is one of the most annoying things as you're almost coming to the end of the wedding planning.
Sure.
When you have to start moving tables around, you may have already paid for a person's plate.
I really hope they didn't. And I think a month out.
No. I think I gave my final head count, 2 weeks before.
Okay. Did you have any last minute?
Yes.
Cancellation?
Oh my gosh, I did. And granted, we were in a different time with COVID.
Sure.
Some people were sick, or, some people had things pop up that they didn't realize were going to pop up. But it was hard for me to feel bad for those people.
Yeah, no.
I was more annoyed at the people than I could feel bad for them.
It's really, really taboo to late minute cancel. Remember when Jason Lee showed up to the wrong venue?
Yeah.
That's my favorite story.
I didn't know where the story was going. I was like, did Jason
No.
on RSVP somewhere?
Jason just showed up to the wrong venue.
Showed up to the wrong
wedding.
venue. Wrong wedding.
There was a wedding going on, and all of a sudden he looks around and he goes, I don't know anyone here.
Doesn't know one single person. So
That's my favorite.
make sure you go to the right venue as well if you are going to go to a wedding. Good luck. Hope you find a babysitter. I will not do it, but I hope you find. No,
Wait. Wait. You
No,
can't say I hope you find
I'm
a babysitter.
busy. What weekend is it? What is it? I'm busy.
September 24th.
Oh, that's my nephew Jack's birthday party that night.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
My mom's watching right now. She'll tell you.
Right. Okay.
All right, coming up, we have some Delco trivia. One of my favorite parts of the show.
Yes. What diner was made nationally famous in the movie Silver Linings Playbook? This might be one of our easier ones.
Yeah, this one's easy. You got this. Think about it. We'll be back.
So what diner was made nationally famous in the movie Silver Linings Playbook?
It's on your screen.
It is.
If you haven't thought about it, now you have the answer. It is the Lanark Diner. There it is.
Oh, good old
Courtesy
Lanark Diner.
Of their Facebook page. So if you pass this Township Line Road in Upper Darby, I passed it all the time coming into work.
Yes.
And I never realized that this was the diner.
You're kidding.
No, I had no idea. I swear, I had no idea.
Well, they don't really place it that well. Like, you see them at one point in the movie, like, walking across the street. And I always think it's so funny because they walk to the diner, which is fine. I'm sure some people do. But that's a really, really busy road. I don't think you could necessarily just pass.
Well, when you have movie production shutting down
Yes.
Township Line Road in both directions, it's probably a little bit safer.
But I'm pretty sure you would be killed if you tried to do that in the movie. I mean, come on, it's Township Line. People are nuts.
Have you ever sat in the booth? Because I know the booth in the actual diner has the little plaque being like, this is the booth that, you know, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence were sitting in.
So I've been with Eugene and the kids, so they sit us in the back. They're like, oh my gosh, you guys are so annoying. Sit in the back.
I've actually never have been.
Oh, really?
I've never gone in. I just pass it constantly.
It's a legit diner. I love it.
It's open 24 hours.
24 hours.
It is bumping sometimes when I'm driving into work in the middle of the night. So people are
Right. And I
going
think
in and
that's the
out.
thing is you can always tell when there's like been a fun night, you know.
or sports
Night.
Yeah.
You know, you've gotten a late Eagles game, a late Phillies game. There's always somebody at Lanark Diner, if not a ton of people. So I love Lanark Diner. Not a huge fan of the movie.
That's controversial. I love. Why don't you like it?
What kind of premise is this? It's the two most messed up people get into a dance competition. In what world does any of that make sense? Bradley Cooper's miserable. Jennifer Lawrence is miserable in the movie. And then they're just like, let's be miserable together, but do a dance competition.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful love story.
They're not even good. They should.
You are from this area. You have to like it.
I don't think so. I do not think that is a Philly staple.
We agree on a lot of things, and I don't agree with this. Everyone's talking about Mayor of Easttown, how it brought Delaware County into the
I love
spotlight.
Mayor of Easttown.
Silver Linings Playbook also did that first in a much toned down version, but Silver Linings Playbook put Philadelphia, you know, Bradley Cooper, he's wearing the Eagles jersey.
Yes, I love the Eagles spin. I don't like the dancing spin. I did not understand. I didn't think that they got I didn't think they got better.
Okay.
They started out really bad at dancing and they ended really bad at dancing.
Oh, that is a hot take. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday night for the Delco Duo. Where can people send their issues?
Delco Duo at phl17.com. Thanks, guys.